Yes, this will be short video, but nice video. I wrote in a post in X, there is this, I have already explained. We all exist as human beings, as individual, as person, as human. That come from the relation exists between the different dimensions that make a symmetrical relation, and we then appear as an environment itself, as part of an environment with the relation with the environment, and as a person that is developing awareness over that environment. That fact, that axiom into which life is constructed, creates the different levels of awareness of the different manifestations of consciousness into each of those dimensions. And then there is the functions that make the consciousness to perceive the asymmetrical relation between the dimensions, and through that you can perceive yourself. That before was called Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you will understand, you will be able to see, if you can see the structure into what that exists, of course. If you are blind, if you are just following your senses like an animal, if you are still a child that only hears stories and reacts to them and take it personal, make a personification of them to his own existence as a way to lead himself, you will understand anything. So that creates this hierarchy between different humans, that you stay in the Bhakti Yoga level, the level of the narratives, the level of the stories, the level where you persona, your individual, is seen as a character into all these structural compositions. You will become what I post in X, that is the issue of Kamala, a person that becomes itself a stone, a jewel, something fixed, something that needs to be desired, wanted, acquired, that is comparing his value with the value of the rest of the fixed objects that are not living entities. Through that, you will always feel just excited. If you are in a relation or in an interaction where you control the narrative, it's like, okay, you want to be a pedagogist that works into that frame. If the people you are teaching or conducting are younger than you, and the interaction is to evolve them, is not to acquire something from them. That is the failure of education. They don't follow the principle, the existential principle of what yoga transmits or represents through epistemology, that is to understand this. So your life will fail, that's the point. Then, if you see the same structure, then it comes the level of skill. I have already talked about this. A word, when you cannot with consciousness, you go with subconscious. When you cannot with subconscious, then you go with skill. If you cannot with skill, you stay in narratives. The next level, skill. And you can be very skillful, and that is, in one point, one evolution from your child state. That means you are growing. Okay. Tell me about the story of the world. Tell me all psychological tendency can exist according to the construct. Tell me all the modifications of the mind and how to apply them and how to perceive others and yourself through it. Oh, I can place my leg in the sky, okay? There is a lot of animals that do better than you, that's not the point. And you can abide there and stay there. Karma Yoga. Bhakti Karma. Okay, you know your mind, you know story, you know philosophy. Not because you read a book, because you have created in your own self. You have seen any potential possibility that can abide and exist in the field of Dharma, the globe of Earth. the systematized structure, pyramidal, evolutionary entity, well, as I call it, because it is like that. Field of Dharma is nice, but that is more a 2D representation of what really exists like this, and is constantly changing, but always maintain the same structure. Most of people that understand their mind and understand all the potentials of mental collapse, identities they can acquire, like when you see a fire, you can take a position accordingly, so you're taking an entity accordingly. Once you are away from the fire, you don't have that identity anymore. Neither is required from you, nature is not requiring you that you maintain that identity. That is also a fallacy that you can see in this civilized. It's more robotized, it's not civilized. Civilized will imply that you are conscious. Civilizations were created through consciousness, not through mechanical robotization of your understanding. Robotized culture, industrialized culture, artificial culture. Culture implies also the understanding of this. If you are in a place you call culture or civilization, but nobody has the understanding of this, you are in an industrial machinery of production of goods and services. That's all. In a computer. So most of people that understand their mind, they abide in that, and sometimes they are not even skillful in anything, and they become manipulators. You can also just make an extanflation, changing all your biological capital, burning it, getting old. That's why you see some riches, some yogis, some masters, they end up like the Pope, like this, you know, all intoxicated, all depraved, all stupid. Like, you are not a leader of society. You're a fucking clown. Good that you die. Perfect. Stay there. Never born again. It's not hate, it's reality. I mean, if you don't love the other people, that we learn from them wrong pathways. I know you cannot talk like that. Yes, I can talk like that. Of course. You can talk as whatever you want, and if you are telling something that is true, better. Again, you can. Controllers, stupid people that stay in Bhakti Yoga narratives, skill, or mental manipulation. Because they have not acquired the knowledge of it, and they have not developed consciousness. They still are not humans. That is what it means to be a human. That's when you have not just born with a human body, but when you have become the consciousness that the body is showing you are, and what defines you, being a living entity among the whole ecosystem of possibilities that the nature of matter allows you to be. In that sense, the tetragrammaton, it is true in the Kabbalah, that is God. That is the only thing you cannot transcend, in that sense. There is many interpretations of it that I call the Kabbalah. I don't mean Jewish people, I don't mean Zionists, no, Kabbalah, period. Bhagavad Gita, period. Not Hinduism, the poem, the Tractatus, the philosophical understanding of reality. That is not just words. That is production of information, is harvesting of experiences and making them algorithms, pathways of information that develop your humanity. Then if you arrive to consciousness, therefore, you can see all the channels, all the systems, structures, the means, the elements through which you exist as a human, and therefore you can go beyond. Like Krishna says, you will always see me, because you will see those characteristics and you will just relate to them. You will not need more stories, you will not need more skills. Ah yes, you can place a leg here. Me too, look at me, we are same. Ah, give me a hug. They are not like me, they cannot do the same. we are better, we are worse, or we need to compete. Animals. Animal mentality. Like, I have a lot of experience. I've been here too long time. I know what you will do tomorrow. Like the Wizard of Oz. Same. You will not need all this waste of time and energy to just see the other individual, the human, and do namaste and respect each other. And if you want to enter in one of the different dimensions through you exist and express as a human being, then you make that's what they were doing this. You make the thing, you pass to the other guy. I mean, it's not like that, but it was like that, it was represented like that. You do like this, the other guy does like this, like making a recipe for a cake. And they say, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And then you enter in the dimension. And you finish, and you come back to consciousness. That's what Patanjali Sutras, that is what means Chit Vrit Nirot, pretty much. That is yoga itself. But then while you don't do that, you will never be able to create a sustainable hierarchy, family, friendship, relation, interaction. You will just be ghosts, trapped in your own nerve system, like something that have never born, just like a cocoon that is just dreaming, is living, but is not. Is pooping, is consuming, is eating, whatever, but it's not living, it's not conscious of its own existence. Okay, that is like that. That is sufferment. You just stay too much in the first level, you will just feel appreciated, loved, sexual attract for those things you can control and you can manipulate through narratives and characters. You will become a pedophile, very much, psychologically speaking. If you are facing a person that is developed and evolved, you will be afraid of it. You will run away, you will see it as a threat, and through that you are involving yourself because you are not aspiring to go further. You are aspiring to go in a conservative state of mind that will make you to violate the growth process of the others. Indirectly or directly, but that will happen. One day you will realize and you will make yourself the stupid. That's what most of these people does. And then they will say, no, that is like that. That is normal. Next, the skillful person. Okay, you are the best runner of the universe. What service you can give to others that has nothing to do with running? Nothing. So we can just interact with you when you need to run. Yes. Okay. So you're just a spectator of your own individual existence. You are a full egoical being, an animal. You cannot relate yourself with others through another means. Every emotion you have, every thought you have is rooted in the symbolical action that you do in your skill. Everything that you do is around that fact. So it's like you live in a particle. Okay, you have all this wide three-dimensional space and the stars and the sun, and the only thing you can do is to abide into a particle and collapse yourself to be a particle. But you cannot perceive anything, but everything can perceive you. So you are weak in the round of nature, in the ecosystem of nature. You are weak, the weakest thing that can exist, as you see any animal. There is a extra ecosystemic happening. No animal can control that, and they go and die. Humans are the only ones that can not control it, but can perceive it because of the same. Because being able to be conscious of the structure of reality. I know that will happen and step away before that happens. So it's like you can, in some portion of your conscious humanity, to change the universe or to create a universe parallel to the outcome you will live if you will not be conscious. That is very subtle. It's almost not perceivable, materially speaking. Literally like that. If I leave this thing here, if I don't leave it here, and I go and I enter, I am entering in another universe, in another possible arrangement of reality. That's what our universe is. But if you are conscious, you have developed your humanity, not just you will not suffer, you will enjoy the full potential that your organic system has. And once you do that, you will not appreciate anything else, and you will understand there is nothing else that has value. You will stop losing your time in things that are making you waste that only thing that has value and is worth it to live for, no matter if the rest is in a delusional, dreaming, mental, oniric state of mind. But now with this you can perceive where society is, why all the happenings that are now existing exist as they are, and you have no more choice. You do the right way because there is only one. There is only one Earth. There is only one Sun that composes the symmetrical dimension that creates you as a human. There is only one particularity collapse of DNA material to become human. And even there is a diversity between all the tendencies and the different arrangements that they can have through the evolution and understanding of what is consciousness itself, of how it manifests in the other rounds and dimensions that you exist as a human being. That shows you that that is the only path to be following. Even that only path is not a line, it's a conceptual map, algorithmical spread of entanglement possibilities that create difference like a tree, different pathways rooted to the root of the only one. But at the end they all collapse in the same representation. That is nice to see in the trees, where collapse in the information of the seed after have created all the different pathways, conduct channels, to end up into the same happening in a leaf. And everywhere you see, where end up, there is a leaf. Trying to take the only source of information and energy that exists in this earth, the sun, in that sense, in what the biological, organical relation between the solar system and the earth is, that you are also part of that. There is a Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds documentary. It's nothing new. It's not so well explained as I explain here all of those temas, but it gives you the narrative frame through you can understand such information. It just talks about the first level I have talked. It does not explore the next ones. It just have commentaries about them. But in this generation, you can say this Daniel Schmidt, he's like a pioneer of showing the zeitgeist of these times. So some people say, I don't want to be alarmist that the world will finish or many people will die or we are going to get sick. That is negative. No, again, are you a fucking child? We'll just be defining everything if it's positive, negative, if it satisfies me or not into a narrative of my own fucking ego. Or you're a human being that is awake, that can see the reality, the nature. And if comes an earthquake, will not say, oh, I will not say it because I will be negative. Being that physically proven as an earthquake, the tissue of humanity is so delicate as a flying mosquito and can be deconstructed as fast as a mosquito lives in one day, literally. In one day or less, in hours, everything you understand as humanity can finish if you all at the same time collapse into an ontological failure that deconstruct the notion you have of reality and you all go crazy. And that have happened already. These are not suppositions. The persons that they are in the conformity of their ignorance, like Nietzsche described many times. Of course, it's more comfortable to stay like that. He called it the sorrow happiness, the unfortunate happiness, the happiness that is pain, whatever you want to call it. So it's not about being alarmist, it's about having full acknowledgement of the reality into which you're existing. Therefore, you can also perceive other outcomes, but you understand, as an individual, you need to place yourself where those other outcomes exist and not wait that in the place where the outcome is not coming out, like the Christianism is good in that sense. Also, it's very dharmic story. Place a seed in the stones, does not grow. I place a seed in the desert, does not grow. I need to place it where it will grow. If not, I am a stupid person. I am being mind controlled. I'm not developing my humanity in that sense. Because if I say I go to the church or I love Christ and all these things, I'm a hypocrite. I'm just lying to myself. I am a child that have not evolved, and like talking about Pokemon, I talk about Christ and I relate through the others because we are sharing the same story. Okay, that is this theme I have talked different times, different portions, but now I have resumed it perfectly. So you can also read